Using up some of my fabric scraps has been at the forefront of my mind lately. And since my mountain of scraps really did not diminish much at all from the last scrappy project that we did, let's do another. The project I have in mind is a so-called Tailor's ham, or a rather hard pillow that comes in various sizes for pressing curved seams neatly. I already know that my corners will not all meet up because that's just not how I roll, and this is my first time trying this. So if perfect corners are what you're looking for, you will be disappointed. I am cutting my fabric scraps into 1.5 by 1.5 inch squares or triangles depending on the scrap piece. I started out trying to mark it, but found it easier to get them all equal by matching them all against the same two reference pieces. I am matching all my colored squares with the dark gray I have the most of, except for 4 pieces that I plan on putting in the center. I understand that the base shape I am going for here are called half-square triangles, and the pattern opportunities that can be found by doing a brief Google search on the matter are no less than impressive. Another thing I learned is that while I had intended to cut my squares all into triangles before assembly, it is actually better to pin and sew 2 diagonal lines on the squares with seam allowance in between, and then cut. Cutting at this point lowers the risk of bias stretch warping your pieces, or at least so I'm told. I am still stitching up my little triangles for better scrap utilization, so you may do as you please. And then, all that is left to do is, as they say, go for it. For the back, I employed a more, shall we say, ad hoc approach where I just randomly stitch pieces into strips and then combine those strips until they are a similar size to the front piece. Which, I must say, was a chaotic delight after hours of trying and failing to be more precise, and may or may not release some pent-up chaos you might be harboring. When both our pieces have been finished and pressed to within an inch of their life, it is finally time to actually cut them into their final shape. It is then only a matter of stitching our 2 friends almost all the way around, leaving some space to turn it right side out and fill it to the brim with stuffing. Said stuffing consists of, at this point, years of accumulated scrappiest of scraps, thread clippings, unseemly selvage edges, experiments and practice pieces, and any other little piece of textile or fiber deemed too scrappy for any bigger projects. These things are usually pretty tightly packed on account of pressing an iron against them on the regular, so we are going to be needing a fair bit of stuff. tailor's hams could also be filled with sawdust, but even more scraps seemed a fitting solution to this scrappiest of projects. And at last, a few hand stitches to close our tailor's ham up. This may be one of the wonkiest, but also scrappiest projects I have done to date. But you know what? I am weirdly proud of this thing. This also reminds me that while zero waste projects are fun to plan and execute, I am more invested in aspiring towards a zero-ish waste workroom and life in general. I think that is more achievable for more of us and allows more flexibility. So go do the thing, even if you're not very good at it, even if it's your first time. You do not have to publish it to the world like I did, but go have some imperfectly perfect fun. Me and my wonky new tailor's ham support you. Speaking of support, thank you so much to my awesome patrons who help make these videos possible. If you wish to help support me in making more videos, that is an excellent and friendly place to start. Thank you for watching. Until next time.